Good evening, everyone. Happy Tuesday to you. In the interest of this being my video journal, so to speak, to be quite honest, today was all things raggedy, including my appearance. So I should have known that some mess was on the horizon when I left the house today dressed like this. I didn't wear any jewelry. My hair looks a mess. I washed it last night, but when I got up this morning, well, actually, I got up at 4 a.m., so that was the issue right there. Got up, prayed, and turned on Proverbs. So I listened to the book of Proverbs, finished that, started listening to Psalms, went back to sleep about 5:30, woke up at 6, and from there I just had a hard time getting out of bed because I'm not a morning person anyway. So, got to school this morning. The office manager, also known as the executive secretary, met me at the office door literally when I walked into the office. And one of the teachers on the fourth grade team called in and they did not have a substitute, so she asked me if I would cover. She asked me if I would cover, and so I said no. I was like, no, I'm not doing it. And the reason I said no is because I instantly thought about all of the behaviors that I would have to manage. So the day is set up in two block increments. So the first block is from 8:30 until 11, and then they have lunch and specials. And then they come back for the second block from 12:30 until 3 p.m. So the first block is either math and the second block is reading, or the first block is reading and then the second block is math. And typically in reading, you cover social studies, historical events, and then in math, you have science. And it's the last 30 minutes of each block that typically cover science and social studies. So the bulk of that, and today it was a math teacher that did not come. So there were two different blocks of math, right? Because I'm rotating with the reading teacher. So I had my first block of math, and then my second block was her first block of reading. I hope that you're able to follow that. So anyway, she asked me to cover, and I said no. And she said, well, I spoke with the assistant principal, and she said that it was okay to get you to go in there. And I said, well, you asked me, so that's why I'm saying no. But it's already understood that if a teacher is not present, then I would be the one to cover the class. So, okay, had to get my mind right, because typically I'm the special education teacher that goes into general education teachers' classrooms, and we have 30 minutes of whole group, and then we spend the rest of the class rotating. So I see all of the students in that class, but it's in small group increments, right? All right, so I had no lesson plans, no nothing. So, I'm like, okay, let's see what we can drag up in these 30 minutes before class begins. So the math coach comes in there. Class starts at 8:30. She comes in at 8:28. And she's telling me, what the kids need to do. So I put that book work on the whiteboard for the students. So we did the first hour of book work. And if they finished their book work, I had some backup work for them. And then I told them if they behaved that first hour, I would show a movie the second hour. So I got on YouTube because for this school district especially, they have a lot of things blocked. I couldn't get on Disney Plus. I could not get on Paramount or Peacock or some of the other apps that I have that would have things that are suitable for children. I wasn't able to access them. So I'm looking through YouTube and I find a movie about a 13-year-old boy who is on the autism spectrum, and he's also considered a math genius. He was over in London. No, Wales, actually. He was in Wales and he was going to college. He was in the midst of getting his bachelor's degree in math, a 13-year-old boy who was on the spectrum and also trying to navigate school with his population and dealing with social emotional relationships and just how to get along with his peers, because that's where his struggle was. And it was actually a great lesson because this is Autism Awareness Month and this is Autism Awareness Week. And I've made it a point to wear blue every day this week. And we actually, as a school, are supporting autism, not awareness, but acceptance. So I apologize. It's Autism Acceptance Week. And as a school, we're all supposed to be lighting it up blue on Friday anyway. So I felt like it was great because it covered math, it covered social emotional learning, it covered eligibilities, special needs, and it covered this week. And so I was able to talk to the kids about the spectrum and about what that looks like and about how it entails language and the inability to create relationships the way that you and I would. So it was a great conversation. It worked out. I did the same thing with the second block. And I think the thing about teaching that we are able to do most amazingly is adapt. One of the things that teachers struggle with even before the pandemic were student behaviors. And after the pandemic, they have exemplified. So there's always a balance between managing student behaviors. And what I mean by that is you could have 5 different students in the classroom that have concerns with sitting still. Somebody's beating on a desk, another person's humming, somebody's making noise, another person's getting up out of their seats every 2 seconds. Another child is possibly not doing anything you ask. I mean, a plethora of things could be going on in the classroom at any given time on any given day, and this is the norm. It's not a rare occurrence to see this going on. So being able to see everyone at all times in the classroom, manage those behaviors, and teach are the things that teachers are struggling with, and it is exhausting. It takes a lot of energy. It takes a lot of emotional intelligence to do this job and to have patience for kids and know that they are learning. And when students are learning and you are the teacher, you have to constantly be cognizant of the fact that these are skills that they do not have in their toolbox. You are literally teaching them and giving them, in a lot of cases, access and showing them exactly what you're expecting of them. So to a lot of them, it's new. Now, a lot of our babies, they come from great homes. The one thing I will say about our parents, almost all of our students come from loving homes. So it's never a matter of, I won't say never, but it's most likely not a matter of a child not being loved. A lot of parents struggle with structure and behaviors and raising children. It's not an easy job. I told my sister back when she wanted to have a child, she was talking about it. I told her, I said, it is the most rewarding yet overrated job you will ever have in your life. And to this day, she's like, Keisha, you were so right about that, because I just happened to have a child before everyone else in my family as far as my siblings, so I was able to pass that knowledge on to her. So today, being all things raggedy, the saving grace, I wasn't looking forward to tutoring today. Today was one of my long days. I tutor on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and I tutor third grade students. So I typically work with fourth grade. I tutor third grade. And it was just so nice and so refreshing to work with them today. And they're so eager to please. And, I'm able to get in character and read things and make my little motions. And they're just looking at me with wide eyes. And I just love it. And tutoring is 2 hours, and it went so fast today. And I was so grateful. And one of the little girls said, "I'm learning so much." And so that was just the icing on the cake for me today. And so I appreciate you listening as I share, and I just testify to my days in the classroom because I know they are coming to an end. I do plan on moving on to continue my ministry with children, but it's going to look different. But we're going to title today All Things Raggedy with a Cherry on Top. So I hope you all have a good evening. Again, thank you for listening. Peace and blessings.